G'day battlers, and today we're going to be taking a look at JBGWinsenHSV taking on an absolutely stacked 7-round tournament, and I mean stacked. There are so many of the top battlers in the world in this tournament. I mean, later on he's actually going to be taking on the number 4 in the world in this tournament, so I mean it when I say it's stacked. Now, this was a 6-way tie, so there were 6 trainers here who did end up with the 6-1 in the end, and literally all of them are elite trainers now. So some of them did get to elite from this tournament, but yeah, this tournament is huge. So if you do want to skip straight to the battles, the progress bar is going to have all the timestamps down there. You can skip straight to that, but quickly talking about his team here, we have Escavalier, who is a huge commander in this cup. It is definitely a really strong pick, and can kind of keep you away from having to use that Toxgrowth, who is going to be weak to that confusion, because Hypno, the second member of this team, is in absolutely everyone's team. It is the largest Pokemon in this entire cup, so having a fighter that isn't weak to Hypno is really great there. Alolan Muk is that hard Hypno counter. Alolan Raichu is a really interesting Pokemon, and I'm really hoping we see a lot of that today. Then we have that Frostlass and Alolan Ninetales, the double ice in the back, although Alolan Ninetales is probably going to be running that Charm, because Charm is also a really powerful move in this cup with that Alolan Ninetales, and Frostlass can kind of just fire off those charge moves. We all know Frostlass, it is a great closer, and again, provides more of that sort of Hypno coverage. So let's jump straight into the battles and see how JBG went in this absolutely crazy tournament. Going straight into round 1 up against SqeakyNL, who is running that Commander Munchlax up against Alolan Ninetales, who is taking Munchlax is taking heaps of damage from Charm, swapping into the Escavalier, catching the Body Slam. This will do almost no damage at all, and Escavalier is actually a really powerful Pokemon up against the opponent's team, except for the exception of Toxgrowth, who is the one hard counter there. But even then, this Drillrun is still going to do a lot of damage, and is really going to force a shield, and there is that shield from the opponent's side. Going to get the farm down here, so that Toxgrowth is going to have enough damage for a Sludge Bomb, so presumably going to bring in the Alolan Ninetales here, and has to respect that Sludge Bomb, so hopefully, maybe going to try, yeah, it does just shield straight away, does not want to get hit by that Sludge Bomb at all, and it was the Sludge Bomb, no baiting here, goes for this Weather Ball straight away, does not want to give Toxgrowth another opportunity to try and get another shield out of JBG here, takes out the Toxgrowth, just letting it go down, and here comes that Alolan Muk. Alolan Muk definitely a little bit threatening here, because only needs to get to a Sludge Wave to really put the hurt onto that Alolan Ninetales. Kind of looked like that was just a Dark Pulse though, and it was. I'm not sure if that was just a kind of lag sort of deal, or what the deal was, but anyway, swapping into the Alolan Muk now up against this Munchlax, and this is kind of turning into a pretty good spot for JBG here. Munchlax is not going to be able to do too much damage to this Alolan Muk, and Alolan Muk is just going to be able to outpace it to all of its charge moves. Throws the first Dark Pulse, boom, connect, almost takes it out, actually gets 1 extra Snarl, which is fantastic. Here comes the Alolan Muk on the other side, going straight for that Sludge Wave, trying to do max damage, but unfortunately the opponent does get the CMP tied there, getting their charge move off first, but it's just a Dark Pulse, still going to be able to get to this Sludge Wave. And Snarl does so little damage that I don't think the opponent's going to be able to Snarl down here, so they're going to have to go for another charge move. JBG can just go for another Dark Pulse here, does see a charge move coming in from the opponent, and they're letting that come through so that Alolan Ninetales can pretty much get 1 Charm in, take out that Alolan Muk, and that is GG's on game 1. So going straight into game 2 with the Alolan Ninetales Mirror, and we are actually seeing, I think that's Powder Snow from the opposing side, so we're seeing the Charm just chunk away that Ninetales, but will the charge moves from the Powder Snow Ninetales be able to add up? Not if you're going to throw a Weather Ball Ice, that is for sure. Another one coming through here, presumably, really not going to do that much damage. Ideally, maybe going to try and go for a Side Shock or something instead, but we're actually seeing JBG now going for a Weather Ball to try and take this thing out ASAP. Does decide to let it go through and take it down. The instant swap into Escavalier, knowing that no matter what comes in, this Escavalier is going to be able to put in a world of hurt. Again, even that Toxgrowth, going to have to respect the Drill Run here. And there's the shield. There's no way they were not going to shield that. And ooh, actually, oh, I was going to say actually gets another one off, and decided to shield so that he can get this other Drill Run off. Really putting so much pressure onto this Toxgrowth that you would kind of think he's just a really good counter up against this Escavalier, but no, has to burn both shields against Escavalier. That is absolutely huge for JBG here. And could, I mean, really doesn't want to bring in that Alolan Muk, so decides to bring in that Ninetales. Might want to shield here, does shield, and then going to try and go for that Ice Weather Ball to take this thing out. But we're seeing this swap into Munchlax. Munchlax did not have a charge move ready to go, so able to bring that Ninetales away, keep it later on, bring in that Muk, and we're seeing the same thing play out as we did in the first round, except actually getting a Bulldoze off. Unfortunately, Bulldoze is just kind of a bad move overall. So Muk is going to get this Sludge Bomb off, Doesn't want to tap all of the bubbles, but actually does take out the Munchlax anyway. Toxicroak going to get a little bit of farm here, and I don't know if Ninetales has the energy. Does have the energy, but the charge move came through from Toxicroak first, and it looks like the recording just stopped there. So going to game 3, 1-1, and we're seeing Escavalier up against this Alolan Ninetales, and this is a pretty decent matchup for the Escavalier. Letting that Weather Ball come through, and again, Escavalier just has such a good time up against the opponent's entire team. It's never really in a terrible spot. So throwing the Druron here, does get the shield off of Ninetales, and we're seeing another presumably Weather Ball coming through again, going to be able to tank it. Just going to counter away, try and get to another Druron. But we're seeing this swap out into Toxicroak, and he still gets the Druron off. This is absolutely huge. Forcing the shield again. The opponent is now in the 2-0 shield disadvantage, and we are seeing Frostlass on the field. This is deadly. Frostlass with shields, with the opponent having no shields, is such a dangerous Pokemon. Doesn't even have to shield the Mud Bomb. Farming up extra energy here. Gonna throw the first Avalanche. This will take out the Toxicroak, and he's still gonna have energy to go with whatever comes in the back. It is that Munchlax who is gonna be walling the Frostlass a little bit, so maybe this is a little bit of a saving grace, but this Avalanche is still gonna do a chunk of damage, and may be able to get to a second one as well. Maybe, just gets there. Gets to the second Avalanche. This Munchlax is Gonski. Wow, that is the danger of Frostlass when you have no shields in play. And now with the 2-0 shield advantage, Alolan Ninetales is going to be able to come in here, charm down, and this is going to be GG's on round 1. JBG taking it away. And jumping straight into round 2 up against Sumatru, we're seeing the Roserade come in and swap out against Hypno. And that is actually a really bad swap for the opponent, because this Hypno has Fire Punch that is going to do so much damage to this thing. Oh, has to burn the first shield, and then can really just keep going. Does have to be a little bit scared of the Mega Horn, so has to burn the shield here. Definitely have to respect that. But is going to be able to get these Fire Punches fairly fast. Already has another one, farming up extra energy because he knows that he's going to be able to get these confusions through before another charge move comes through. Throws the first Fire Punch and down it goes. That is so rough. And here is that Alolan Muck. Maybe they were really hoping that the JVG didn't have Fire Punch, or they would swap out into something else so they could hard counter it with the Alolan Muck later. But man, that is rough. And Alolan Muck going to take out Hypno now. In comes the Escavalier, in comes the Roserade, and in comes the Alolan Muck. We're just seeing swap city in here. Doesn't want to let those Fire Weather Balls come onto Escavalier at all. We saw what happened to Escavalier before from the Fire Punches, and it would be very similar up against the Fire Weather Balls. So letting that Weather Ball come through onto Alolan Muck. Has a lot of energy here. Almost has the back-to-back Dark Pulse, but is one Snarl away. Throws the first Dark Pulse. Does get the shield. One more Snarl. Gets another one off, and there are no more shields on the opponent's side, so this will take out the Roserade. Down it goes, and we're now going to see that Alolan Muck come back in. The switch time isn't up yet, so we can't swap into a Escavalier, so going to try and go for the Sludge Wave, and does get it off. This will definitely put a little bit of hurt onto that Alolan Muck, soften it up for when Escavalier does come back in, which is right now. A few counters away from this Druron, has a shield, and at this point, it's GG's. I'm pretty sure he could actually counter down here. Muck is probably going to get to another charge move, and he is, but this will not take out the Escavalier, and this is definitely GG's for JBG on game 1. So we'll see how they do adjust in game 2 if they try and keep that Escavalier away from Hypno. And we're actually seeing the Alolan Muck in the lead, trying to hard counter the Hypno lead, but it did not work out because Escavalier is right here, ready to go. Letting the first charge move come through, again, Escavalier isn't as mandatory as it was in the last round, so just going to farm up extra energy, way more energy than I thought he would want there, but going for the Druron now. And we do see the shield from the Alolan Muck, because Alolan Muck has a lot of energy now, so burning the shield, wants to get this next Druron off. Actually sneaks in a few extra counters before going for the Druron. That is a really ballsy move on JVG's part. Throwing the Druron, takes out the Alolan Muck, and he's now going to have switch advantage no matter what he brings in. Oh, and it's the Escavalier. We know it's coming out. We all know it's coming out here. And do we see the instant swap from the opponent? We do not. Going for that Mega Horn, really trying to get this last shield out, I suppose. Do you see the swap out now? No swap out. Getting a lot of energy on this Hypno. It looks like he might have been delaying hitting the charge move, knowing that there could be a swap out here, but it doesn't seem like it. So burning the first shield on the first Fire Punch, and unfortunately Hypno is going to outpace to the Fire Punches. Escavalier not able to get to that next Mega Horn. So here's that Roserade in the back, who is also going to be super weak to this Hypno, and Fire Weather Ball is going to do a chunk as well. This is why Hypno is so powerful in this cup, and boom, down it goes the Roserade. And that is all we have of round 2. If JBG went 2-0, then they've only sent us the 2 battles. So we are now jumping into round 3 up against I'm Mr. Singh, who has a really interesting team that I'm kind of hoping we see that Raichu at some point. And speaking of Raichu, we are seeing the Alolan Raichu from JBG taking on that Alolan Ninetales. Going for the Wild Charge straight away, hoping for the no shield, easy, first straight away advantage, but unfortunately doesn't play out. Swapping into the Alolan Ninetales, and we're actually now seeing the complete reverse. We're seeing the opposing Raichu come in up against JBG's Alolan Ninetales. Raichu versus Ninetales is so hot right now. Burning the shield on that Brick Break, which is a little bit unfortunate because he definitely wouldn't have done much damage, but the Raichu doesn't get any extra charge moves off. That is really devastating for the opponent. We're now seeing the Alolan Ninetales mirror, has the Ice Weather Ball ready to go. JBG does not need to shield that because it would not do much at all. Going for the Psyshock, which isn't going to take out this Ninetales. It does go through though, and it actually should be able to charm down now, getting switch advantage for JBG. That is pretty huge. Oh man, it's Shifter in the back. This is GG's. JBG has a Escavalier in the back as well, so this Shifter is not going to stand a chance, especially in the 1-0 shield scenario. Shifter will get a charge move off. Actually, they're not going for it. They know they've lost, so they're not trying to waste time here. JBG going for the drill run just to make sure, and down goes that Shifter. So going into game 2 now, we have a Escavalier up against Alolan Ninetales. Again, not a bad spot for Escavalier to be in. These charms are resisted. They're still doing a lot of damage, but we're seeing this swap it into Frostlass here. Maybe trying to catch a drill run there, but he's going to go for the drill run nonetheless. Going to do a nice little bit of damage. Wow, that actually did more than I thought it would. And now swapping into Alolan Ninetales. Ninetales is going to be able to soak this charge move. No matter what it is a Shadow Ball. Going to be able to tank it and charm down that Frostlass. And here is that Alolan Ninetales mirror again. Hopefully, does get to the Weather Ball, but unfortunately CMP tie goes in the opponent's favor, so their Weather Ball goes through, letting it go, taking out the Alolan Ninetales. There is no reason to waste the shield there in a Pokemon that was going to lose the matchup in 1 charm time anyway. Brings in that Escavalier, charging up heaps of energy here. Going to go for the full farm down, burning 1 shield for it. And no matter what Pokemon is in the back, it is going to feel the full force of all of these charge moves. And it is that Shiftry again, going for the first drill run. The opponent still has both of their shields. This is in a great spot. Burning the first shield there. Jet goes for the Mega Horn now. They're going for the no shield play. Do they go for the no shield? There is the shield. It is now up to Alolan Raichu, who does have 1 shield on its side. So hopefully Shiftry doesn't have enough energy, but this is looking like it could go either way. Does it get the Leaf Blade bait? That is so unfortunate. Gets the Wild Charge off. If this takes out Shiftry, that's it. That is GG's on round 3. Does it take... Oh, no, it doesn't. Oh, but what? Did not have the charge move there. That was kind of crazy, but yeah, now going into round 4 up against MrMcCalvin, who is the current number 4 in the entire world. This is going to be some seriously hot competition, so keep your eyes tuned because this is going to be massive. We are seeing the Gengar in the lead on the opposing side up against Hypno. This is it's a weird matchup on both sides, but we are seeing the Lantern swap in and seeing the Escavalier swapping in return. This is a bit of a weird matchup as well because Escavalier really doesn't take Thunderpulse well. I actually thought that it would burn the Hydro Pump that it's scared of, but kind of not the case. Charges up past the Drill Run and actually actually letting this come through. This might take out the Escavalier at this point. Oh no, does not take it out. Changs on, gets 1 Drill Run off, has the back-to-back, so needs to get this next Drill Run through. Does get the first shield, and oh no! Doesn't get the Drill Run off! That is pretty devastating for JBG there. We're seeing the Hypno come back in. This could swing the tide of the battle. Seeing Hypno come in. Charge move coming through. Should be able to tank it even if it was a Hydro Pump. Is just a Thunderbolt. Going to go for the full Confusion down here by the looks of it. May even get a Thunderbolt off. Oh, this is going so poorly for JBG, unfortunately. Burning that last shield as well. Going to take out the Lantern now, but it's now Hypno up against the World. Here comes that Alolan Muck, and they were going straight for the Shadow Ball. That is not going to do much damage to Alolan Muck at all. Swapping into Alolan Muck, we're seeing the Gengar actually swap in here. Not going to love the Alolan Muck at all. Maybe it's got Focus Blast. I'm not too sure here. We'll just have to wait and see. Is it just the Shadow Ball? That Shadow Ball does a lot more damage than the Hypno Shadow Ball because it does have Stab and a way higher attack stat. Going for the Dark Pulse here to try and take out that Gengar. Does get the shield. 1 more Snarl. Gets the Dark Pulse off. Gengar's going to go down, but we're now going to see that Alolan Muck come back out, who has a lot of health and a little bit of energy as well. This is really rough for JBG. I'm not sure if there's a way to come back, especially with this charge move coming through. Going to take out the Alolan Muck. Hypno's going to come in and face that Alolan Muck, and maybe could get the 2 Fire Punches off, but not going to happen. So yeah, GG's on a game 1. Going into game 2 now, we've got Alolan Raichu up against that Escavalier. Not a great spot for Raichu unless it can get this Wild Charge off. Farming up extra energy and going for the Thunder Punch bait here, but we are seeing the Drill Run come through first. Shielding up the Drill Run. Actually didn't tap on the Thunder Punch, thought he did. Now going for the Thunder Punch bait. We'll see if a shield does come up on the opposing side. No shield. That is such a huge call, but actually did heaps of damage as well, and Steel's able to take it out. Maybe I'm just wrong here. I clearly don't understand how any of this game works. But we've seen the Alolan Muck come in, which is a pretty solid counter to that Raichu, unless that Wild Charge could come through. First one doesn't go through. Already gets to a second one. Do we see the double shield on the Alolan Muck? Double shield on Alolan Muck. So now we're seeing the Alolan Muck swap into a Lantern. This is a bit of a weird scenario because Alolan Muck and Lantern, they're kind of a little bit back and forth here. Going for the first Sludge Bomb. And we obviously don't see a shield because there are no more shields in play, but needs to get to another charge move to take this Lantern out. Does decide to burn the shield, and it was a Hydro Pump, so correct call on that one. Farm up extra energy because you know that he can. Going for the Dark Pulse here, which I think will take out that Lantern. And is then just going to be down to that Alolan Muck in the back, who does have energy, and JBG only has the Hypno in the back as well, plus that little bit of Raichu that could maybe work as a catch if he can land it right. Gets this Sludge Wave off, which is pretty huge. We'll just have to wait and see how this battle plays out. It could really go either way again. Gets the Sludge Wave off. Are we going to see the try and catch on the Alolan Raichu? We catch on the Alolan Raichu! Oh man, that is just huge. The opponent having to waste all the energy on that. Wow, that is nice. Gets that extra Snarl, gets this Dark Pulse off, and this is going to bring us to 1-1 against the number 4 in the world. This is going to be really tight here going to the final round. Alolan Raichu up against Escavalier. Again, not a great matchup, but we saw him play out of it at the shield cost in the last battle, but the opponent not wanting to replay the last battle, swapping into that Alolan Ninetales, going straight for this Thunder Punch straight away. Do we see the shield come up? There is the shield, thinking that it might have been a Wild Charge bait. Swapping into the Hypno here, going to be able to soak up this energy from the Alolan Ninetales. Has the Fire Punch ready to threaten. We actually see no shield here. Still doesn't need a shield. Hypno is a really tanky Pokemon. If another one does come through though, we are definitely going to need to see a shield. Doesn't charge all the way, trying to get a little bit of extra energy on this Ninetales, and unfortunately we are actually seeing the Weather Ball just come through there. A little bit unfortunate. Maybe it's tactical, maybe it's letting the Hypno go, bringing in another Pokemon to get a little bit more energy, but unfortunately actually getting hit by another charge move. Still going to be able to tank it, but it's going to be rough because Alolan Raichu is a really squishy Pokemon, really low at this point. Here comes that Alolan Muck. Does not get to the Wild Charge. That is... Oh, no. This is playing out like the first one. This is just... The wrong things are happening at the wrong times. We're seeing Alolan Muck having to take on this Escavalier and the Alolan Muck in the back. Does have 2 shields, so can shoot up this Drill Run, but... There's not... He doesn't really have too many damaging moves here. He goes for the Dark Pulse, which is going to do a fair bit. Again, Escavalier is not a very tanky Pokemon, so could maybe go for a Snarl down there, but it would be really risky. So he goes for another Dark Pulse, trying to get this last shield out, and he does. Really has to Snarl down here and then have tons of energy go into that Alolan Muck matchup in the back, but I'm not sure if he's going to be able to do it. Snarls down, only has energy for 1 Sludge Wave. Does go for it. I'm not sure how much energy how much health that Muck has. Is it enough? No, that is definitely not enough. Yeah, these matchups are going way too fast for me. We need to stop here. Just say, yeah, that was the 1 loss of the tournament, which is a fair loss to the number 4 in the world. So if you're going to lose to one person, that is not a bad person to lose to in this tournament. It's super close, super well played as well. Just unfortunately, stuff just all kind of went wrong for JBG there, especially in that first battle. But we are now going into round 5 up against Bassiix, who is also running that double ice team. So let's jump into it. We're seeing the Escavalier up against Toxicroak, which again, not a great spot. So that we're seeing the instant swap into Alolan Ninetales up against that Munchlax. We saw this like in the very first play of the entire this entire tournament as well, so we'll see how it plays out this time. Ice Weather Ball going through, does get the shield out of that Munchlax. Munchlax going to go for this Body Slam. It's not going to do tons and tons of damage, but it is definitely going to be adding up, especially with these successive Body Slams that will be coming through. I think Body Slam may come out before the Weather Ball, and we are seeing that being the case, and just letting the Ninetales go. Going to bring in that Escavalier to farm up a little bit of energy, and then if that Toxicroak does come out, which it presumably will, he's going to have that energy ready to go for the Drill Run. So really going to put Escavalier in a nice spot to put that pressure back onto the opponent, taking it down. I was actually a little bit confused because I saw the Team Rocket trainer there. I was like, what? Are we up against Go Rocket here? But no, we are seeing the Toxicroak come in. Gonna get this Drill Run off, farm up extra energy though, and ooh. Okay, maybe they're going for the back-to-back Drill Run as well. We know how it went back in that Lantern battle, and it did not go so hot, but we are now seeing the Drill Run go through and letting the Toxicroak go. And we're actually going to see the Frostlass come in, see the Drill Run go through. Alolan Raichu is still hanging out in the back. Does land the Drill Run. Alolan Raichu going to come in. Alolan Raichu is doing a lot of damage with these Volt Switches. Both people still have 1 shield here. Burning the first shield here. Is Alolan Raichu going to try and just go to the full farm down? Full farm down. Oh, actually Frost is going to hang on. This could really go either way. I think Alolan Raichu is going to get taken out here. and then it's just going to be down to the counter damage from the Escavalier, and he does counter down the Frostlass. That is so hype there, and we're seeing the same lead going to round 2, the double instant swap, and we're now seeing, hey, I wasn't done with you yet, Raichu. Frostlass coming back in. Alolan Raichu now going to be throwing the charge moves, which we did not see before. Thunder Punch going to go through, does get the shield. I shouldn't say go through. Go through means that there's no shield. Definitely some poor word choice from me there, but both players are burning both one shield, and we're now going to see the Wild Charge play. Does it pay off, Cotton? Oh, goes through, takes out the Frostlass. That is really nice. Could see the Toxic. Oh, we're actually going to see the Munchlax come in. Munchlax maybe trying to avoid that Escavalier play. Does get the Thunder Punch off. Maybe trying to get a shield, and does get a shield. That is so fantastic for JBG. This matchup going really well here. We're seeing the Toxicroak try and swap in straight away, so we're going to see the Alolan Ninetales come in. At this point, you could kind of go either way. It does decide to shield up the Ninetales, and then going to go for the full farm down of that Toxicroak. Going to have a lot of energy to go into the back here. Here's that Munchlax. Ice Weather Ball tries to go through, but the Munchlax does get its charge move off first. This maybe might hang on. Yeah, it does just hang on. Gets the Ice Weather Ball off. Going to do a nice little bit of damage to the Munchlax. Not going to take it out, but it is then going to be down to Escavalier to just counter down the rest. Gonna try and get this drill run. A Bulldoze will do a lot of damage, but it's not gonna take it out. Does the drill run off first though, and yeah, this is gonna be GG's. And does that put us at 1-1? Does that put us at 1-1? No, it was in fact 2-0. It was not 1-1. There's been a lot of battles here today, and if you are watching, shout out to you. But we are now going to round 6 up against one of my favorite trainer names I've seen, VroomVroomPow, who has a super interesting team with Gallade, a Commander Empoleon, Roserade. So yeah, let's go into it. Let's see what happens here. We do see that shiny flex on the Roserade against the Alolan Muk. Looks like this battle maybe isn't sped up. I'm not too sure here, but we are going to see the Dark Pulse go. Oh, no, we're seeing the swap out into Lantern, swapping out into Alolan Raichu. Yeah, it does appear that this battle isn't sped up like the other ones, so apologies if this round does go for a little bit longer. But we are going to see the shield come up here, and it was the Hydro Pump, so really nice shield there. Charging up tons of energy on this Alolan Raichu, and was that a Wild Charge tap? I'm not too sure there. Hard to tell with the electric. Yeah, it was the Wild Charge. It does go through. One more Volt Switch. 2 more Volt Switches. Oh, we see the Charge move come through first. And no shield with the defense debuff from that Volt Switch. Oh, actually still hangs on with the Thunderbolt. I thought that the debuff might have ridden his gravestone there, but we are going to see a Wild Charge. Man, this is hard. So many electric stuff. One Wild Charge coming right up. Alolan Muk does take it out with that one Snarl, and we're now going to be able to see Escavalier, sorry. We're going to see Escavalier able to take this one out. Seeing this swap out into Roserade, catching the... What a swap. Catching the charge move that was on the swap in. Fire Weather Ball coming through. And, ooh, does see another Weather Ball come through before Muk can get its charge moves off. Not the end of the world, though, because this will not take it out. Dark Pulse going to go through now. Definitely going to be putting on a lot of hurt here. Has the back-to-back. Gets one shield. Oh, unfortunately, the Bullet Seed does come through there. That is pretty huge as well, because Weather Ball is such a fast charging move. Does get the last shield there, and unfortunately not going to be able to get to another Dark Pulse. And it is now going to be up to Escavalier to take out this Roserade. And I'm not sure if it's going to be able to, because these Fire Weather Balls, again, we know how much fire is going to do to this thing. It burns the first shield, but there's definitely going to be another Fire Weather Ball coming through before he can get to a charge move. Oh, actually swapping it. Oh, no. Oh, this just went from bad to worse. Catching the drill run onto Alolan Muk. Does get one counter of energy, but that's just hard to secure the win for this Roserade here. Fire Weather Ball going to go through, and yeah, just cut out the footage. It is now going to game 2 of round 5 here. We've got Escavalier up against Alolan Muk. The swap out into Gallade, which isn't actually the worst matchup for Escavalier. Swapping out into the Hypno to catch the presumable, maybe it's a Leaf Blade, maybe it's a Close Combat. It is actually just a Leaf Blade there. Close Combat would have been a beautiful catch. But yeah, just going to be confusioning away here. Even if there's another Leaf Blade, it's still going to not going to take out Hypno, so we'll be able to tank it no matter what. Farmer actually could confusion down, maybe? Oh no, we're going to see one charge move come through here. Letting the Hypno go, wanting to get a little bit more energy on a Pokemon in the back. That is definitely a really nice play. Brings in that Escavalier, gets the counter in before a confusion comes through, and we're seeing the Roserade come out now. Oh, this is not looking great here, but we're going to see the Escavalier throw the drill run, does get the shield there. Going to want to swap out and catch the Weather Ball, but is not able to do so this time, unfortunately. That Roserade holding on to that energy. Still hangs in and throws the charge move, but it is the Leaf Storm that does do a nice bit of damage to the Alolan Muk. Maybe that Roserade is energy dry now. I'm not too certain, but if it's energy dry, that could be really huge there. Getting the first Sludge Wave through. We're seeing my brightness go down. I'm not sure if that affected the video at all, but Alolan Muk going to shield here. Is that Dark Pulse? unfortunately, as opposed to the Sludge Bomb, that would be nice to get. Throwing the other Dark Pulse back through the dulling of the screen really threw me off here, but we are still seeing this Alolan Muck via Alolan Muck. Does get the charge move off before going down. Escavalier going to try and get a little bit of extra energy on this Alolan Muck. Going to try and have the Mega Horn ready to go. The opponent does still have a shield on their Roserade. Going for the dual run bait. This will surely get a shield out of that Roserade. Does get the shield, only has to get to one more charge move, gets the Duron off before the Fire Weather Ball. The opponent may be going for that back-to-back Fire Weather Ball, but unfortunately it does not come through in time, and the Drill Run taking out the Roserade to bring it up to 1-1 in round 6 here. Alolan Muck in the mirror match, this time in the final battle of round 6. This is definitely going to go a little bit back and forth. Are we going to see the Dark Pulse bait? We see a Snarl come through on the opponent's side, so the opponent is now at the energy advantage. Letting the Sludge Wave go through though, so not the end of the world, and actually sneaking a Snarl back in. So it is energy neutral again, everyone's on the same energy, and they have both landed a Sludge Wave on each other. Going straight for the Sludge Wave again, and the opponent, again, getting a Snarl through. Burning the shield this time though, unfortunately, and are we going to see a JBG able to sneak in a Snarl? Yes, we are. What is going on here? We actually see no shield though, and it was the Dark Pulse bait. What a call. Able to get the Dark Pulse off in return and get the opponent getting another Snarl through, and at this point, was scared he wasn't going to get to a Sludge Wave. So we're actually seeing both opponents swap out there. These guys are in the exact same mind space. We're seeing the Escavalier up against that Gallade now. Are we going to see the close combat come out? And we do see the correct shield. Farming up extra energy now that he knows that he can. Going for the charge move right before a charge move could come through from that Gallade. This Duron will take out the debuffed Gallade. A Roserade coming in here. Has the Mega Horn ready to go, but instead going to go for these Drill Runs. Going to try and get another one after this one. Does get the shield there. No more shields in play. Does get the Dual Run off before the Fire Weather Ball can come through. This will do a lot of damage to that Roserade. Not going to take it out though. Does get the Fire Weather Ball off now. Letting it go. Escavalier was not going to be too more useful here. Down it goes. Could really bring in that Hypno, get a little bit of energy, or you could gamble. Going for the gamble, catching the Fire Weather Ball on the Alolan Muck. Wow, what a play. Hypno's going to come in here. Doesn't actually get the energy. Shields up the Muck. This Confusion is going to go through, take out the Alolan Muck, and then one more Confusion. That Roserade will go down, and that is GG's round 7, and JBG has now taken on 3 elites to get to this point where he's now 5-1. Needs to win this round to have a chance at that tied victory in this tournament, and he's up against Jolt 019. Has to get through this guy, and going in with the Alolan Muck up against Hypno. What a lead. What a good way to start this thing off. Really just needing to win this one round. So Alolan Muck charging up to that Sludge Wave and going for the Dark Pulse bait. Do we see the shield come up from Jolt's end? I'd be surprised if we didn't, and we do. Trying to swap into the Escavalier there, but did not go through. The CMP going to keep this Muck around to get hit by this Weather Ball. Does let it come through, and now swapping to the Escavalier. Escavalier going to be able to get to this Dual Run that will do a lot of damage to this Ninetales. Letting the first Weather Ball come through, not going to be too scary. Could really let a few of them come through, to be honest. Although the power slows are actually surprisingly adding up. It's kind of weird. Letting the shield shielding up here. Actually wasn't tapping on the Duron, so a little bit surprised that, I guess, getting a little bit more energy. Get the Duron off. I guess in case that Hypno comes back in, he'll want to get that Mega Horn off onto that Hypno, and that is exactly what we're seeing. We're seeing the Hypno come in, not going for the Mega Horn straight away. Again, counting those Confusions, getting this Mega Horn off at the perfect time. He must have been right on that charge move. Does get the shield there. Actually, CMP tie, so he might have timed it so perfectly that the opponent was forced into using their energy. That is absolutely a big brain play, if true. Gonna bring in that Alolan Muck here, and we're gonna see the swap out into Alolan Muck on the other side as well, who has no shield. So Raichu can just kind of safely burn the shield here, charge up a bit more energy, and then go for that Wild Charge to take out the Alolan Muck. Farming up, going for the Wild Charge now. Definitely does not want to misplay it and get hit by a Dark Pulse. Wild Charge going through, taking out that Alolan Muck. Here comes that Hypno. Gonna see another Wild Charge come through and a few more Volt Switches. Again, timing it all as perfectly as possible. Getting this Wild Charge off, and this will go through. This will not quite take out the Hypno, and the double defense debuff wasn't too helpful there either, but, actually, surely Hypno can't take it Muck, right? Fire Punch. If he's got another fire... Oh, no! Has it been lost? Has JBG lost this? I think he's lost this. Whoa, he lost the first. Okay, that was so set up for JBG, but it all went topsy-turvy in the final moments. Roserade up against Alolan Muck. We're seeing this swap out into Alolan Ninetales, and the counter swap into that Escavalier. Wow, I'm still reeling from that last game, but the Weather Ball coming through. We're actually gonna see the second Weather Ball come through straight away this time. Coming through, letting it go. Gonna get up to that Dual Run. Maybe trying to really letting himself get pretty low here, so that if that Hypno comes in, it's not going to get too much farm. And again, getting that extra energy as well. Ooh, Ninetales just hanging on 1 HP in a dream. Gonna give another Pokemon one fast move of charge here. Brings in that Alolan Muck. We're actually going to see this swap out into Roserade straight away. Dark Pulse is going to go through here. Not going to do tons of damage. Maybe take that back. That did a fair bit of damage. Roserade is pretty squishy. Yeah, going to get a charge move off here. In case it was the Leaf Storm shielding up, and it was the Leaf Storm. One more Snarl. Down goes the Roserade. The opponent still holding on to both shields here. What are we seeing come in? We're going to see something, and it is that a Raichu with the Ash hat as well. That is absolute baller. Shielding up the first charge move here, and it has tons of energy here. Just throw the energy, JBG, throw the energy. Going for the first Dark Pulse now, going to go for the back-to-back. Does get the shield. Actually going for one extra Snarl, not wanting to let a whole Volt Switch come through if things go awry. So second Dark Pulse, getting the second shield as well. Swapping into the Alolan Raichu now to soak up energy, and any energy that this Raichu has. No matter what it is, Raichu will be able to tank it. It's not going to one-hit KO. It is the Wild Charge. Ooh, a little bit of lag there. I was worried that things were all going to go wrong there. And the opponent tried to swap to catch the charge move. Did not work out for them. JBG held on strong and is now able to get the Wild Charge off to take out Raichu. And it is now 1-1 in the finals. Well, JBG needs to win this one game to get that tied victory in this tournament. And Jolt is just standing in the way with that Roserade. Roserade versus Muck, there was a little bit of lag there, but it was just desync. It was all, it was all good. Everything caught up. But Alolan Muck now going to stay in, go for the Dark Pulse. It looks like a Bullet Seed did sneak through there, so Roserade getting a little bit of extra energy. Burning the shield. Farming up. No snuck in Snarl either, so Muck is definitely now on the back foot here in this matchup. Another Fire Weather Ball coming through. Farming up to another Dark Pulse and catching the Dark Pulse on Ninetales. That is such a rough catch for JBG here. Really has to fight back for it. Swaps into that Hypno, who does have that Fire Punch. Hypno going to be able to soak up anything. We've seen JBG go for the full farm down with Hypno before, but really could go either way. Doesn't want to get too many Weather Balls coming through. Looks like he might have tapped on the Fire Punch there, but the Ice Weather Ball coming through first. Yeah, did tap on the Fire Punch, was just a CMP tie. Unfortunately, not tapping all of the bubbles so that he can get a few extra confusions of energy in, which is definitely a nice play there. This time it does go right, as opposed to that other time where Ninetales hung on with 1 HP. In comes that Roserade, does get 1 confusion off, which does heaps of damage. Try to go for the Fire Punch, so shields up to keep this Fire Punch going. 1 extra confusion, goes for the Fire Punch. This will take out Roserade if it goes through. Only gets the nice, but it's still going to take it out. Swaps into the Escavalier, no matter what was in the back, and it is that Raichu. This is looking just absolutely goat for JBG here. Just looking fantastic. Shields up the first drill run. Has the shield, so can shield up whatever charge move comes through. And what are we seeing? Oh, wait, let it come through, and it's the Brick Break. That is, whoa. JBG. What's going on? Your Hypno is so low. Your Muck is so low here. Gets 1 kill. Oh, man. Gets the Fire Punch off, and this is going to seal the deal. JBG, my guy. And with that finish, we are going to see JBGWinsenHSV taking out the tied 6-1 victory in this absolutely huge tournament. Again, the one loss to the number 4 in the world there, who is also in that cast of characters who have got that tied victory with Crystal Blue Pepsi, the Bearded Tit, Pat Suits, and Azzy Rocks. The screen's a little bit blurry for me at the moment, but yeah. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, especially that subscribe one. Again, congrats on JBG getting that into that top 50 of the entire world as well. Really huge achievement there, and I'm looking forward to seeing you in the Silph Arena Showdown next month as well. But yeah, that's it. I already said that thank you for watching, but thank you again for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, especially that subscribe one. Thank you to my patrons and supporters over on Twitch as well, because they are very, very lovely human beings. Like, they're actually the best in the world. Sorry, everyone else. But yeah, thank you again for watching, and yeah, if you want to check out some more Commander Cup sweeps, there's 2 tournaments over there. I guess not sweeps, but wins. Like, this wasn't a sweep, but it was a very good win, a very powerful win against some very strong opponents. So yeah, if you want to check out other ones, they're there, and subscribe. See you in the next one.